Welcome back, YouTube. I am Balormage, and today we are going with our complete autocaster, I don't even know what to call it, stupidly OP build. So, basically what happens here is I am using Fire Shield to cast fireballs automatically whenever I take damage. So it starts with whenever you take 30 damage, and then you lower that by 24. So anytime you take 6 damage, you can cast a fireball. We up the damage of the fireball, and we give it pierce chance. Not really anything relevant to do with the extra few pieces on this, so I've gone extra few passives, whatever they call them, levels, whatever. I've ended up just taking 2 ward generation, but honestly, you could have taken 2 ignite, or you could have gone into one of it just doesn't, none of them matter. So that is basically this and teleport as the entire build, and everything else is just there as support. So we'll go over teleport because teleport is important. All the normal ward generation stuff, and sacrifice your health as ward, ward retention, ward equal to your intellect, and the extra 5 points in elemental damage. We have taken Black Hole purely because Black Hole's OP. Never really had to use it. It's funny to use, so I use it often, but it's really not important still. We've gone with increased pull area as much as we can, pull strength to counter this one. So that's cooldown recovery speed and increased duration, and adds duration. So our black holes end up lasting so long that we can cast them a second time before they even run out. So if we ever encounter content that doesn't die fucking instantly, we can always just keep them sucked into black holes forever. So that's cool. In the event that anything ever lasts long enough for us to cast a second spell, which doesn't really happen, I've gone with Fireball, which I've buffed the cast speed of, made free, and then put in as much crit and crit multi as I can. So this crit multi down here that I had to go through 1 ignite chance is 100% for 4 points. We've grabbed the pierce, we've grabbed the base crit, and we had 1 point left over, which we dropped into crit multi, but we could have dropped it into fire pen, we could have dropped it into reduced fire protection, we could have put it in projectile speed. That last point's not really important, but the crit and crit multi is how that works. And we've just gone with the normal focus setup of giving it a bit of a cooldown, but making it just very, very, very chunky. Now, the way that this build works is based on this amulet. You actually cannot do this build without this amulet. This is a mandatory piece. Gives you 10% of damage leached as health, which is all the leech you need. I don't even know why I'm wearing this chest piece. I'm just wearing it because I put it on ages ago and then never ever needed to take it off because the character's too powerful. But you could easily craft anything you wanted and put there. It's not important. This is already all the leech you need. You are inflicted with bleed when you cast a spell. So any spell bleeds me. I teleport, I take damage. I put up the fire ward, I take damage. I focus, I take damage. Everything. This shield I thought would be important because it automatically refreshes the duration of Fire Shield at the cost of 80 ward, but it turns out Fire Shield is instant and you can do it while you're doing anything else. And so you'll find that you can just spam Fire Shield over and over again to give yourself more bleed stacks and take more damage. And therefore, I just don't really need that shield at all. It's nice, and I haven't bothered to change it because everything dies instantly, but it's not important. Again, this one also not really important. 60% increased damage, some flat health, and some ignite chance on an ignite base relic. I would have gone, if I could be bothered to craft stuff, I would go with a crit multi crafted one. Basically everything else can be crafted. The amulet is the only thing that's important. So let's have a quick look over passives. So we started with all the intellect we can get, a bit of cast speed for our fireballs. Not important, this one, really not important. The cast speed of the flame shields fireballs are set in as quick as I can take damage, so really not important, but I took it anyway. Some flat health and ward retention. Ward retention's important. don't worry about these 4 points. I have put them in there, but I am level 77. I will be maxing this out now, but it was definitely towards the end. That's like the last thing we want to take. I have taken nothing in Spellblade. Nothing. Sorcerer, we've gone critical strike chance. We've gone all of the intellect we can get. We took 2 points in this, I think, because we needed to move forward, because there was nothing else I cared about in this row, so I needed to waste 2 more points somewhere. So, fire damage. Fire pen. There. Cooldown recovery speed, which is great for teleporting around much, much quicker, and also activating your fire shield more often, which is great. Crit multi, and 50 health and 50% ward retention, and all of the intellect we could find again. So we're just stacking int, crit, and crit multi. And that is basically the entire build. It functions by just auto-targeting everything all of the time. This is the most OP build I have made so far. It's actually disgusting. I'm like 98% sure this will get nerfed before the end of beta, but it's definitely going to be fun for now. So basically, all we do is we put on Fire Shield, we spam Fire Shield whenever it's off cooldown and we've got the mana, and then we teleport around, generating a bunch of ward for ourselves, while everything dies. And if there's enough things in an area, you can drop the black hole and suck everything in together. And if you find yourself running out of mana, you just quickly tap focus and you're full again. It's actually just really gross. You don't target anything, you don't look for anything to kill, you just run through the map and everything dies. And it's just completely automated. It's basically winterorb. This is basically a winterorb build, except it's fireballs instead of winterorb. But even then, it's slightly better than winterorb because, well, I guess I have to stop the channel focus occasionally just for a split second, so it's pretty much exactly on par with winterorb. They made winterorb, except they made it fire. So now you run around, as you can see, you've generally got 4,000 ward and 1,000 life, and you just auto-target everything, and your fireballs are free, so if you ever end up having to actually fireball something, you can just cast it continuously. It still counts to give you more stacks of bleed, but it costs you no mana as well. So in the event that something ever lives long enough, like say if you made it to wave 600 or 700 in the arena and things actually lasted, you could just teleport, black hole, teleport, fireball, 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 teleport, fireball, fireball, and it would just keep the stacks right up on the bleed, so your shield keeps running. It's disgusting. I don't see any reason that this build needs to exist, but it's really fun. So, yeah. Enjoy that one. If you've liked our Last Epoch builds, please remember to subscribe. We will be going back to PoE for a little while for the 3.7 expansion. Or expansion, patch, update, league, whatever you want to call it. We'll be going back to there for a little bit, but we are definitely coming back to Last Epoch. Probably towards the last month of that league. I'm excited to see how much the game progresses in the 2 months or so I expect to be gone from it. Very excited about that. But yeah, so hopefully everyone enjoys this build, but do remember, if you do not have a bleeding heart, don't do this build. I did try it with that helmet that self-ignites. It's nowhere near enough damage. The build is garbage with that helm. The helm is not good enough. So bleeding heart has to have. Alright, I will see everybody later.